I'm originally from the US, raised in Connecticut on the East Coast. In college, I studied abroad in Ireland for my third year, and that was really the beginning of being overseas for the rest of my career. Started teaching in Taiwan and later moved on to Venezuela, Seoul, and now Hong Kong. I think I was blessed with a school experience that was incredibly positive. I was that kid who couldn't wait to go back to school by July, did all my book reports in June, and just loved going to school, being at school. So when it finally occurred to me that I wanted to go into education, it was a totally natural decision, and I've never looked back. In the early 2000s, I was doing a degree in linguistics. My dissertation was about a dual language approach in an international school setting. And there were so few schools like that at that time that in my search for models to research and write about, Chinese International School was one of the only schools like it. So I started watching CIS way back in the early 2000s and just always admired the work that was being done here. Not only was it a great model to look at in my studies and my research, but it just inspired me because I've always believed that two languages should be what are offered in many schools because it is a prime time for kids to learn language and to develop intercultural competencies and a way of looking at the world through different lenses. CIS has, I think, proven itself to be a very dynamic place that's always asking, how can we do things better? What are innovative ways to look to the future of education? I think first and foremost, you have to think about the social-emotional aspect of your classroom, the environment. That is about making students feel wholly and completely accepted. There are many curriculums, programs out there. We can debate the pros and cons of those. But at the end of the day, I think it's the environment that you create in your classroom, knowing your students, that they know how much you care about them so that they feel inspired and encouraged to learn more, try things, make mistakes. I think the biggest thing that I've taken from being a parent back into my role as an educator, as a teacher or a leader, is the parent perspective. It's impacted me teaching kids because of my interest in child development, in my own children, seeing different milestones emerge. That has been a big piece, but the bigger piece has been thinking about this child in the eyes of the parent. Because you have a role and you have many other things to think about as an educator, of course, but that was always stayed with me, resonated as a good reminder. It just makes it real. This is a child who has a family, and their family has a history, and they have hopes and dreams for their child. When people say to you, you made a difference, you have provided this amazing experience for my child, or we'll never forget this school, to me, it's totally worth it.